Sophia Loren was never just another actress in Hollywood. She was a presence that commanded attention without demanding it. With her striking beauty, natural confidence, and powerful performances, Sophia Loren became one of the most respected and admired figures in film history. From her Oscar-winning role in Two Women to her collaborations with some of the biggest names in cinema, Loren built her reputation on discipline, authenticity, and emotional truth. But behind that elegance was a woman with strong opinions. Loren believed acting was a serious craft. It required preparation, focus, and mutual respect between performers. She valued balance in a scene, where both actors contributed equally, responded naturally, and trusted each other's timing. When that balance was missing, she noticed it immediately. And over the course of her career, there were several actors whose styles and personalities didn't align with hers. These weren't always loud conflicts or public feuds. Sophia Loren was known for her composure, but that didn't mean everything was smooth behind the scenes. In fact, some of her most challenging collaborations came from working with actors whose approaches were very different from her own. One of the most well-known examples was her experience with Marlon Brando. Brando was widely considered one of the greatest actors of all time, known for his method approach and emotional depth. However, his style often involved improvisation, unpredictability, and constant experimentation. For Loren, this created difficulties. She preferred structure and consistency. She believed in understanding the scene fully and building it step by step. Brando, on the other hand, often changed lines, altered delivery, and approached scenes differently with each take. While this could lead to powerful moments, it also made it harder for Loren to establish a steady rhythm. She respected his talent, but she found his lack of discipline frustrating. Acting, for her, was not just about individual brilliance. It was about collaboration and control. Over time, Loren developed a way to adapt to this unpredictability, focusing more on her own internal rhythm rather than relying on external cues. Still, the experience reinforced her belief that consistency was essential for true collaboration, and without it, even the most talented actors could create imbalance within a scene. Another actor who challenged Loren's patience in a different way was Peter Sellers. Sellers was known for his incredible versatility and comedic genius, but he could also be unpredictable off-camera. Loren found his behavior difficult to read. At times, he was fully engaged and present, delivering sharp, creative performances. At other times, he seemed distant or detached. This inconsistency made it hard for Loren to maintain emotional continuity in their scenes. She valued reliability, knowing that her co-actor would respond in a way that allowed the scene to develop naturally. With Sellers, that sense of stability wasn't always there. While she admired his talent, she struggled with the lack of consistency in his approach. It forced her to stay constantly alert, adjusting her reactions and timing depending on his energy in each take. That level of unpredictability required more effort than she believed should be necessary, and it highlighted the importance she placed on trust between actors. With Frank Sinatra, the dynamic was different. Sinatra was a powerful personality, both on and off screen. He carried confidence and authority into every situation, and he was used to being in control. Loren, however, was equally strong-willed. She didn't rely on anyone else to define her presence. When they worked together, this created a subtle tension. Both actors had a clear sense of how they wanted to approach a scene, and neither was easily influenced by the other. This wasn't about unpredictability or inconsistency. It was about control. Loren believed acting should be a shared experience, where both performers contributed equally. When that balance shifted too far in one direction, it became difficult for her to fully engage. She respected Sinatra, but she didn't always agree with his approach to collaboration. At times, their scenes carried an unspoken competition, not in a hostile sense, but in the way both actors held firmly to their instincts. That dynamic created a unique energy on screen, but also made the process more demanding than Loren preferred. A different kind of disconnect existed between Loren and Gable. Gable was one of Hollywood's most iconic leading men, known for his charm and effortless screen presence. However, Loren sometimes felt that his performances relied too heavily on that charm. She believed acting should go deeper, beyond surface-level appeal. Loren looked for emotional layers, subtle changes, and a sense of development within a scene. With Gable, she didn't always find that depth. His style was steady and effective, but it didn't always evolve in the way she preferred. This created a sense of limitation for her. She respected his legacy and professionalism, but she didn't feel the same level of creative connection. Loren often approached scenes with a desire to explore different emotional shades, to find something new with each take. When that opportunity wasn't present, the performance felt restricted, as if it remained within a fixed range rather than expanding. Then there was Burton, whose intensity created yet another type of challenge. Burton was known for his powerful performances and commanding presence. He brought a strong emotional force into every scene, often dominating the space around him. While Loren admired his dedication, she believed that acting should involve balance and exchange. When one actor's presence became too dominant, it disrupted that balance. Burton's intensity, while impressive, sometimes made it harder for Loren to express the subtlety she valued. She preferred a more controlled approach, where emotions were revealed gradually rather than pushed forward. This difference in style created tension, not because of disagreement, but because of contrast. Loren had to find ways to maintain her own presence without matching his intensity, choosing instead to hold back and let her performance speak through restraint. That contrast sometimes worked beautifully on screen, but it required careful control and awareness on her part. When you look at these experiences together, a clear pattern begins to emerge. Sophia Loren didn't struggle with talent. She worked with some of the most gifted actors in the world. What she struggled with was imbalance. Whether it was unpredictability, inconsistency, dominance, or lack of depth, each of these qualities made it harder for her to connect within a scene. Over time, these experiences strengthened her own approach. They made her more precise, more focused, and more aware of what she needed from a performance to feel authentic. For Loren, acting was about harmony. It was about creating something together, not competing for attention or control. She believed that the best performances came from mutual understanding, when both actors trusted each other and worked within the same rhythm. When that rhythm was disrupted, the entire scene felt different. And while she was capable of adapting, she never lost sight of what she believed acting should be at its core.